The Abundance Generator, by David Russo. The abundance generator is a way of being that naturally creates overflow, a mindset and life practice rooted in presence, alignment, focus, and generosity. It's where abundance is not chased, but noticed, cultivated, and shared. When you stop forcing outcomes and instead invest in yourself, give freely, and stay open to the moment, life responds with unexpected gifts, opportunities, and growth. Abundance flows to and through those who recognize they are both the source and the receiver. In plain terms, the abundance generator is what you become when you trust life, focus your energy wisely, appreciate what's already here, and let overflow happen naturally. The core idea is this: you don't attract abundance by wanting more, you generate it by being more present, more aligned, and more generous. This book is an invitation to become one. Chapter 1: The Nuggets Moment. Noticing unexpected gifts. Some lessons don't arrive wrapped in success or applause. They show up in humility. They show up in hunger. They show up when you least expect kindness and receive it anyway. This chapter begins with 6 chicken nuggets. I was on an acting set that day, dressed as a homeless person. The clothes were intentional. The look was real enough that people treated me differently. When filming ended, I didn't change. I was hungry, so I walked into a fast food restaurant exactly as I was, still in costume, still carrying that version of myself. I ordered and paid for 6 nuggets. Nothing more. I sat down, opened the box, and stopped. There were 15. Now, I want to be honest about this moment, because honesty is where real abundance begins. I believe the woman behind the counter saw me. She likely thought I was homeless. And I believe she chose generosity. She didn't have to do that. She wasn't required to do that, but she did. And that's what made the moment powerful, because abundance isn't always some invisible force falling out of the sky. Very often, abundance moves through people. Through quiet choices. Through compassion. Through someone deciding to give a little more than what was asked for. In that moment, I wasn't chasing anything. I wasn't trying to impress anyone. I wasn't striving or performing. I was simply present exactly as I was. And generosity met me there. That box of nuggets wasn't just food. It was a reminder that when you slow down, when you soften, when you stop demanding life prove itself to you, space opens. Space for kindness. Space for connection. Space for unexpected gifts. So many of us spend our lives armored up, pushing forward, afraid that if we don't fight for everything, we'll be left with nothing. But that day, dressed as someone with nothing, I received more than I asked for. Not because I earned it, not because I chased it, but because someone chose to give. And here's the lesson: abundance flows most easily when we're open enough to receive it, and humble enough to recognize it. That generosity also came with a responsibility. To notice it. To appreciate it. To let it change me. Because when you truly receive a gift, it softens you. It reminds you that you're part of something bigger than your own effort. This is the first principle of becoming an abundance generator. Stop striving so hard. Start noticing what's already being offered. Look around your life not for miracles, but for moments of kindness. For people who gave you extra time, extra patience, extra grace. For doors that open because someone chose generosity. Abundance doesn't always arrive as wealth or success. Sometimes it arrives as a human being quietly saying, "Here, take a little more." And when you notice those moments, when you really let them land, you begin to understand something essential. Life is already giving. The question is whether you're present enough to see it. Chapter 2: Your cup overflows. Giving creates more. Abundance as a way of showing up quietly, sometimes so casually that you almost miss the choice it places in your hands. I was standing in a coffee shop when a drink was called out that no one claimed. It sat there for a moment. Instead of throwing it away, the barista looked at me and handed it over. Just like that, I had 2 drinks, one I had paid for, one I hadn't. There was no effort involved. No striving. No planning. Life simply gave me more than I needed. And in that moment, abundance paused, waiting for a response. I could have kept both. Nothing would have been wrong with that. But I noticed something important. The extra drink didn't feel like something to hold on to. It felt like something passing through me, so I gave it away, and something unexpected happened. The moment expanded. A smile appeared. A connection formed. The energy shifted not because of the drink, but because of the act of sharing it. Nothing was lost, something was multiplied. That's the nature of true abundance. It doesn't grow by accumulation. It grows by circulation. We're often taught that giving means less for us, that generosity is a sacrifice. But when you give from overflow, you're not depleting yourself. You're acknowledging that your cup is already full. Abundance reveals itself in the overflow. When life places more in your hands than you need, it's not always meant to stop there. Sometimes it's an invitation to trust that giving won't leave you empty, and that what moves outward has a way of returning in unexpected forms, not always as money, not always as opportunity, but often as alignment, ease, a sense of being in rhythm with life. This is the second principle of becoming an abundance generator. Giving is not loss, it's expansion. When you share freely, you step out of scarcity thinking. You stop guarding what you had and start moving with what you're given. And that shift changes everything. People feel it, life responds to it. So before you move on, try this. Today, let your cup runneth over intentionally. Offer a sincere compliment. Someone once complimented the tie I was wearing. It cost him nothing, and I definitely felt like $1,000,000. Give someone your full attention. Share your time, your patience, or yes, an extra drink. Nothing forced. Nothing performative. Just a small, honest act of generosity. Because abundance isn't proven by how much you keep, it's revealed by how easily you give. And the more you practice letting abundance flow through you, the more life trusts you with more to pour. Let it overflow. Life knows how to refill the cup. Chapter 3. The Butterfly Effect. Life finds you. There's a strange truth most people only discover after years of chasing. The things you want most often arrive when you stop looking for them. Opportunities. Relationships. Breakthroughs. They have a way of finding you when you're not reaching out with desperate hands. I experienced this myself. While out having fun, not looking for anything serious, a butterfly landed on me, and later that same day, I met my wife. Life has a funny way of nudging you in the right direction when you're not forcing it. Think about how often you've seen this play out. Someone finally finds love after they stop searching. A door opens when you're focused on becoming ready rather than being noticed. It's the reason people joke that the moment you're married, suddenly everyone pays attention. You didn't become more attractive overnight, you became more aligned. This isn't coincidence. It's cause and effect. Life responds differently to presence than it does to pursuit. Desperation, often rooted in scarcity, broadcasts tension. When you're forcing outcomes, you're signaling need. But when you're grounded, enjoying life, and living in alignment, you create space. And in that space, opportunities, relationships, and breakthroughs begin to move toward you. This chapter is about what I call the butterfly effect, not the idea that small actions change the world, but the quieter truth that life can sense when you're chasing it. And when you're letting it come to you, when you stop trying to be seen, you're often seen more clearly. There have been moments in my life when opportunities showed up out of nowhere, calls I wasn't expecting, introductions I didn't plan, chances I hadn't asked for. And when I looked closer, I realized something important. I hadn't been hunting for them. I had been living my life, doing the work, showing up as myself, paying attention. That's when life leaned in. Forcing outcomes narrows your vision. You get locked onto one path, one result, one version of success. But alignment widens your field. You start noticing possibilities you couldn't see before. You become available to life instead of trying to control it. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop gripping. There's a difference between intention and attachment. Intention sets direction. Attachment demands a specific outcome. And attachment often blocks the very thing you're trying to pull closer. This is the third principle of becoming an abundance generator. Stop forcing outcomes. Let life meet you halfway. When you're aligned, when your actions match your values, when your energy matches your intentions, you become magnetic. Not because you're trying to attract anything, but because you're no longer pushing it away. Life is always in motion. Opportunities are always circulating. The question isn't whether they exist. It's whether you're positioned to receive them. So ask yourself, where am I trying to heart? What am I gripping out of fear? What would change if I trusted life just a little more? Today, practice stepping back without stepping out. Stay engaged, but loosen the hold. Be present in your work. honest in your relationships, open in your awareness, because when you stop chasing butterflies, something interesting happens. They start landing, and you realize life wasn't avoiding you at all. It was waiting for you to be ready. Chapter 4. The Game System Lesson. Investing in yourself. Abundance doesn't always come from careful planning. Sometimes it comes from following what you already love. Back in the 1980s, I was asked if I wanted a game system. There wasn't even a reason to hesitate. I was already into games. Saying yes was natural, exciting, obvious. No limiting beliefs. No doubts about needing a degree in business or a ton of cash. All I had to do was buy a modem and the program. Cheat. Simple. Once it was set up, the game was ready to play. But this wasn't a flashy, graphic-driven game. It was text-based. The modem was slow. Every action required careful input. Each move was a question, each response a challenge. And it was so much fun. I wasn't in it for money. I wasn't in it to be number one. I wasn't thinking about fame or going viral. Those terms didn't even exist yet. I was in it for the love of the game. And that love became the first ingredient of abundance in my life. I played non-stop. I learned every pattern, refined every strategy, and gradually, the phone started ringing non-stop. Kids were talking about my alias in schools as being number one. They even mailed in money for a subscription. People wanted to get on the game, to challenge me, to see how far they could go, without trying to attract attention, without chasing recognition. Opportunity came looking for me. That's the lesson. When you lean into what excites you, abundance often follows. You position yourself to receive without forcing it. The universe responds to energy that's joyful, aligned, and persistent. This is the fourth principle of becoming an abundance generator. Invest in yourself, and do it with love. Focused effort, curiosity, and passion create a kind of gravity. Recognition comes naturally not because you're chasing it, but because your energy signals readiness. The slow modem, the text commands, the hours of dedication, they weren't obstacles. They were ingredients, part of the process that made abundance possible. So ask yourself, where am I already excited, already aligned? Where could following that Joe lead me if I simply show up fully? What small, passionate yes might open a door I didn't even see coming? Abundance begins when you lean in, not with calculation, not with expectation, but with love and focus for what excites you. I didn't know it at the time, but that game system, that slow modem, that simple yes was the beginning of an abundance mindset, and the phone started ringing. Chapter 5. Stop chasing, start attracting. For years, I believed that getting what I wanted meant running harder, pushing further, chasing every opportunity that appeared. I thought desire was a call to arms, a signal to wrestle life into giving me what I thought I needed. But desire doesn't always work that way. In fact, chasing often blocks the very thing we're after. I remember early in life, sprinting after goals with almost desperate energy. I chased recognition, money, connections. I measured progress by how fast I could grab it. And yet, the more I chased, the more elusive it felt. Doors slammed just as I arrived. Opportunities passed by, unnoticed. It was exhausting. Then I began to notice something important. There's a difference between aligned action and desperate chasing. Aligned action is when you move with clarity, focus, and strategy. You pursue because it excites you, because it matters, because you're ready. That's when going for it is powerful. That's when chasing becomes creating. Desperate chasing is different. It comes from fear, anxiety, or a sense of lack. It's frantic, grasping, and tense. That kind of energy repels what you want. Doors close. Opportunities slip by. The key is timing. There are moments to go all in, to put yourself out there, to hustle and create. And there are moments to pause, to let life come to you, to cultivate presence and readiness. This is the fifth principle of becoming an abundance generator. Desire without attachment creates space for abundance. You don't need to give up your goals. You don't need to stop dreaming. You need to distinguish when to act and when to receive. Focus on becoming the person ready to attract what you seek. Move boldly when aligned. Step back when needed. Ask yourself, where am I moving from fear instead of excitement? Where could patience and presence create more than frantic effort ever could? When is it time to go all in And when is it time to let life come to me? Stop chasing blindly. Start discerning. Start attracting with readiness and presence, because when you align your energy with timing, life delivers not only what you want but often what you need, in ways far better than you imagined. Chapter 6, Where your focus goes, things grow. Abundance isn't random. It doesn't arrive by chance. It follows attention, preparation, and intention. I learned this in sales. There was a month when the market was hot and the dealership was busy, lots of customers walking through the doors. It could have been anyone's month. But I wanted more than just being part of the flow. I wanted to excel, so I focused hard. I had spent years reading over 300 sales books. I practiced every day. I honed my skills, refined my approach, and prepared for opportunities before they even arrived. That month, all that preparation met the market at the right moment. I sold 52 cars, the most in the dealership. Not because of luck. Not because of the high market. Because I had put in the work to be ready. This is the essence of abundance. What you focus on, what you invest in, what you nurture, it grows. Your attention is like sunlight on a seed. If you water obstacles, fear, or scarcity, that's what multiplies. If you water opportunity, skill, and preparation, that multiplies instead. This is the sixth principle of becoming an abundance generator. Where your focus goes, things grow. It sounds simple, but it requires discipline, awareness, and a willingness to read and listen, to learn, practice, and improve even when no one is watching. That preparation compounds quietly, so that when opportunity shows up, you're the one ready to receive it. Ask yourself, where am I investing my time and energy right now? Am I practicing, learning, and growing, or merely hoping luck will show up? What could I focus on that, if nurtured daily, would produce extraordinary results? Abundance finds those who prepare, who focus, who are deliberate. It doesn't come to the distracted or half-engaged. It comes to the ones who commit, who put in the time, who align effort with opportunity. So today, focus your energy. Give your attention to what matters. Read, learn, practice, improve. Because when preparation meets opportunity, abundance doesn't just show up, it multiplies. Where your focus goes, things grow. Chapter 7, Patterns from the Past. Seeing the abundance you already had. Sometimes abundance is hiding in plain sight. We spend so much time looking for it in the future that we forget to notice it in the past. We overlook the small victories, the early wins, the quiet gifts that have always been part of our story. I've found that taking a moment to reflect on the past can be a powerful tool for uncovering abundance. When I think back to childhood, to small accomplishments in games, to moments of recognition or connection, I see a pattern. Abundance has been showing up all along. It wasn't always obvious, and I didn't always notice it at the time, but it was there. Every gift, every success, every breakthrough, no matter how small, was a sign that life was already abundant. This reflection teaches us gratitude, but it also teaches perspective. Often, we believe that abundance is something we need to chase, achieve, or earn. We overlook the fact that it has been quietly present in our lives all along. Recognizing it changes how we move forward. It shifts our mindset from scarcity to recognition, from longing to appreciation, from striving to presence. This is the seventh principle of becoming an abundance generator. Look back to see the richness in your life. Think about your own story. The moments you celebrated, the challenges you overcame, the surprises that turned out better than expected. Those are evidence of abundance, proof that life has always been delivering. By noticing these patterns, we train our minds to see opportunity and abundance as natural, recurring forces. Ask yourself, what have I overlooked that has always been here? Which small victories or gifts have I forgotten to appreciate? How does recognizing these moments shift my energy today? Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a lens. And when you view your life through that lens, abundance becomes impossible to miss. It has been present all along, and acknowledging it allows you to invite even more of it into your present and future. So pause. Reflect. Look back. See the patterns, the richness, the unexpected gifts that life has already given you. This isn't just nostalgia, it's the groundwork for a mindset that naturally attracts abundance. When you recognize the abundance you already had, you begin to live as someone who knows there is always enough. And from that recognition, more abundance will flow. Chapter 8. Open Doors. Everyday life. Abundance isn't always dramatic. It doesn't always arrive in the form of a windfall, a promotion, or a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Most often, it shows up quietly, hidden in ordinary moments if we're paying attention. I've learned to notice these open doors everywhere. The extra nuggets in a fast food order, the coffee someone didn't take that became mine, a chance conversation with a stranger that sparks an idea, or a small favor that unexpectedly lightens my day. Life is constantly offering small openings, little gifts that, when recognized, remind us that abundance is already here. The trick is presence. It's easy to walk through life distracted, scrolling, planning, worrying, and miss these opportunities entirely. But when we slow down, open our awareness, and say yes to life in the moment, abundance starts to reveal itself. The universe is generous, we just need to notice the doors it opens. This is the 8th principle of becoming an abundance generator. Stay present. Notice the small openings, and say yes to life's little surprises. Every day holds tiny invitations, ways to connect, to give, to receive, to grow. Maybe it's sharing a smile with a colleague, helping a neighbor, or simply noticing a quiet moment of beauty. Each small acknowledgement is an act of receptivity. Each open door, no matter how small, is a chance for abundance to enter. Ask yourself, what small openings am I overlooking today? Where could I be saying yes to life in ways I haven't noticed? How might recognizing these ordinary gifts shift my energy and perspective? Abundance isn't just a distant goal, it's woven into the fabric of everyday life. When we stop rushing and start noticing, life begins to feel richer, fuller, and more generous. The small doors lead to bigger opportunities, the little gestures grow into meaningful connections, and the everyday moments become sources of joy. So today, practice presence. Look around. Open your eyes to the subtle gifts already arriving. Say yes to life's little surprises. Because abundance often begins not with grand gestures, but with noticing what's already here. Chapter 9. Sharing the overflow. Abundance is not meant to be hoarded. It's not a treasure to lock away, a secret to keep, or a resource to protect. True abundance grows when it is shared. The more we give our time, our attention, our resources, our kindness, the more the universe finds ways to return it to us, often multiply. I've always loved sharing ideas through my books, different perspectives, insights, knowledge, experiences, stories, motivation, and self-improvement. I've seen how giving knowledge and inspiration can ripple outward, creating connections and opportunities that often return in surprising forms. One small act of generosity, whether an idea, a gesture, or a helping hand, can touch others in ways you might never anticipate. It's like pouring from a cup that never empties. The more you pour, the fuller it stays. This is the 9th principle of becoming an abundance generator. Give freely. Your generosity generates positive returns for yourself and those around you. Generosity isn't about self-sacrifice. It's not about losing something to gain nothing. Giving creates energy. It builds connection. It opens doors. It transforms scarcity into abundance. Even the smallest acts, sharing a tip, offering encouragement, or giving your time, can set off a chain reaction. And sometimes, the return is far greater than what you could have imagined. Ask yourself, what can I share today that would create value for someone else? Where could a small act of generosity spark a ripple effect? How can I give from a place of fullness rather than obligation? Sharing the overflow is a practice, a mindset, and a lifestyle. It's about seeing that abundance is not a finite resource, but a current that flows through all of us. When you give, you're not giving away something precious, you're allowing the universe to respond to your readiness, your openness, and your willingness to participate in the cycle of generosity. So today, look for ways to share your overflow. Give freely. Encourage others. Offer your time, your attention, your resources. Notice how it comes back, not necessarily the way you expect, but always in ways that reinforce the truth. Abundance multiplies when it is shared. Generosity is a multiplier. The more you give, the more life gives back. And in that exchange, abundance is no longer something distant or theoretical. It becomes your everyday experience. Chapter 10. Becoming the abundance generator. By now, you've seen the patterns, the extra nuggets, the shared coffee, the slow modem game, the 52-car month, the small openings in everyday life, and yes, a loving wife to share it all with. All of these moments have a common thread. They aren't random. They aren't luck. They are the result of mindset, presence, preparation, and generosity. They are the ingredients of abundance, and the good news is, you can generate them for yourself. Becoming an abundance generator isn't about chasing more. It's about alignment. It's about noticing the gifts already around you, investing in your growth, giving freely, and being ready to receive life's opportunities. It's about living in a way that magnetizes what you want, while also appreciating what's already yours. This is the 10th principle. You are both the source and the receiver. Abundance begins inside you. Your attention, your focus, your willingness to act, and your capacity to give, these are the engines that generate it. When you combine presence with preparation, curiosity with courage, and generosity with gratitude, abundance flows naturally. It moves through you, outward, and back again. It's a practice, a mindset, a lifestyle. Some days, abundance arrives in big, obvious ways. Other days, it shows up quietly: a smile, a small gift, a new connection. The point isn't the size of the gift, it's the recognition that life is always offering, always providing, always abundant. If we are awake enough to see it, ask yourself, am I noticing the abundance already present in my life? Am I investing in myself, showing up fully, and giving freely? Am I ready to receive when life offers its next gift? The truth is, you don't have to wait for abundance to come to you. You generate it. You create it with your mindset, your actions, and your openness. When you live this way, abundance is no longer a goal, it's your everyday reality. From nuggets to 52-car months to everyday blessings, my journey shows that abundance is available to anyone who chooses to practice it, live it, and share it. You are the generator. The source is within you. When you embrace that, life responds with endless opportunities, unexpected gifts, and a richness that goes far beyond what you could ever imagine. Abundance is not something you find. It's something you become. Conclusion: get ready, abundance is coming. Right now, you might not feel like you're in an abundant moment. You might be waiting, wondering, or even struggling. That's okay. Life doesn't always hand us abundance on a schedule. But here's the truth: abundance is coming. It might arrive gradually, over years or even decades. Or it could appear suddenly, in a single moment that shifts everything. Think of the extra nuggets that appeared when I least expected them. Think of the text-based computer game system in the 1980s, connecting players from all over, sparking joy and opportunity. Think of selling 52 cars in a single month, something almost unheard of, yet made possible through preparation, focus, and presence. Or consider the story of Elijah in 1 Kings 18:41-46. After a 3.5-year drought, Elijah told King Ahab to prepare for a heavy rainstorm. Despite seeing no clouds at first, he persisted, sending his servant to look 7 times until a small cloud appeared on the horizon, growing into a torrential downpour. That tiny, almost imperceptible sign was a reminder that abundance often starts small, sometimes invisible, before it bursts into full bloom. So get ready. Prepare yourself. Be present. Invest in your growth. Share freely. Notice the small openings around you. And trust that when the moment arrives, you will be ready to step into it fully. Abundance isn't a destination, it's a practice, a mindset, a way of being. And when it flows into your life, it will be more than you imagined, more than you expected. Take a deep breath, open your heart, and lean into life. Your abundance is on its way.